Happy Monday and welcome to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. Y'all, how are ya?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Okay, apparently Allison Sinclair has a story because when I asked how her weekend was, or maybe you asked us and then you turned around and said, mine was not good, which immediately you go,
yeah, y'all have had to wait on the edge of your seats for about 30 minutes. But this is audience participation, and I'm not kidding because we have never gone through this before.
Okay.
And it is terrifying and sad and
oh gosh,
unsettling all at the same time. And you're also probably going to laugh. It's a roller coaster. But so remember Jennings, my daughter, who went through a breakup recently?
Yes, I do.
Remember we decided every breakup deserves a puppy.
It does. Molly, that doesn't go for you when that happens, though.
So puppy arrives on Tuesday, flies in from Texas. The cutest little puppy, but he's scared and he's stressed. And so he kind of lays low, sleeps a little bit, kind of when you new environment, who are these people? A lot like when I adopted my two kids internationally, they're like, I've never seen white people before. What do I do with you? I guess probably Banks has seen white people, but new white people. And so he comes home. The next day, he does pretty well. He's starting to chew on his bone and chase and play around a little bit. But by Thursday, things are not looking great.
Is that really why you went to the vet or no?
And so, did you know I went to the vet?
Yeah, you said you went to the vet.
Yeah, you were supposed to leave early last show.
And you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That is just a random coincidence that Bo, our dog, who's 3, just had to get his vaccines because he was due, which is interesting and appropriately timed based on the story I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So Thursday, it's like starting to kind of slow down, but we're like, it's normal. He's not really wanting to eat. Friday, it's not good.
What does that mean?
By Saturday morning,
this is bad.
He is I know y'all don't like it when I talk about throwing up, so I won't talk about throwing up, but this was happening from the other end.
Okay.
And it was...
I'm familiar with that.
Distressing. It was not normal. At one point, my husband walked over to pick him up and yelled at me. I was outside because we're having 50 people over to the house for a family reunion in about 2 hours. And he goes to pick up Banks and he's like, he's dead. I hear Jared yell, he's dead. I'm like,
no.
Wait, are you serious? He was dehydrated and not moving, or dehydrated and dead?
So he's not moving. He's just kind of limp. He's not dead though. So right before everybody starts to show up, we send Jennings and the puppy and Collins, my 17-year-old, to the emergency vet. The same one we took Bo to when he ate rat poisoning, and the same one we took Kitty Bear to when she... Oh, wait, we haven't even told the Kitty Bear story yet.
Excuse me. Is this the one on 280 by us, or is
Yes.
this okay? All right. Been there many times.
Yes.
Gotten really bad news from that vet on Sunday afternoons. Okay.
Please don't tell me.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Take him in. I'm trying to get chafing dishes out for a reunion, and turns out he has parvo.
What?
Which is no bueno.
No bueno.
Like, he is very, very sick. Very, very sick. And we've never gone through this. I mean, we didn't go to dog parks. We didn't go to Petco. We didn't do anything with him. And the only thing I can think of, because the breeder, we were like, maybe it came from the breeder, but all of her puppies are good, is Jennings lives in a rental house. And apparently this parvo stuff will stay in the ground for like 7 years.
No.
Actually, the vet said you need to go burn all your grass, dig it up and burn it. I'm like, this is really dramatic. But y'all, he is so sick. He's been in the hospital for 2 nights.
Oh.
I don't know if he's going to make it. I think he is, but it is the saddest thing. And we've never gone through this. Apparently, it's fairly common. But our whole family, and he's tiny. Like
I'm
he
so
weighs nothing. He's so
sorry.
little. But have y'all ever? And maybe some of our listeners. Oh, you're saying yes, and they didn't make it.
No, they made it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Don't. We're gonna hope for the best. They're gonna do everything they can. Is he still at the ER vet?
Oh yeah.
They're really good there.
Yeah,
let me
they've
say.
been very. We have to like suit up and put on all the PPE when we
Mhm.
go in and see him. But I don't know if any of our listeners have any thoughts for me if they've been through this, things I should ask for, things we shouldn't do. I mean, I guess they're like he's going to have to go potty on a pad, and you can't take him out, and it's going to be a whole thing. But it was a very exhausting. We had a great family reunion, but in the back of your head, I'm going, okay, my daughter's puppy's about to die. Great, Allison, your track record with animals. Because again, the audience hasn't even heard the kitty bear story and why we have a paralyzed cat. And so it's just after last week when we talked about three-legged cat and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff, it just seems to be right up Sinclair alley of the way things go. Not to mention, they were like, oh, at minimum, it'll be $2,700.
That's the part that galls me. At least hospitals have the dignity of waiting for your $25,000 bill.
They do
You know,
it up front.
You're like 8 weeks away and you're like, oh, but it's not at like the vet's like, that'll be $1 million before we'll see your animal. Yes. We had that happen with Tripod when they just upfront announced the cost and the options. And you're like, well, this is bad and worse.
Well, it's like being at the grocery store when they say, do you want to save the children with $1? And you're standing there and you're staring at it and you're like, I've given so many dollars already. But if I hit no, they're going to judge me. So the vet's like, I mean, do you love your puppy or not?
All I can think of is that in the arms of an angel.
Yeah, it's exactly it. It's just, it's so, and so they're staring at you. Do you care about God's creation or do you just want it to die for $1 million? So y'all pray for little Banks. We're leaving the show and gonna go check on him.
I really am sorry because there's nothing sweeter or cuter or more joyful. Babies and puppies and kittens. No, we have gotten that phone call before. That was a Friday. Our vet at the time, I don't know where she went, but at our same clinic, called and said, the child's cat who has the cat, it was Will's cat. I'm going to go ahead and say it, is close to death. We don't know if she'll make it. And they had to stay in, and Chris invented, I don't even know what he asked for. I'll have to text him and ask him what he asked for, but had eaten something then refused to eat, refused to drink. And so they had to basically, IV antibiotics and IV just saline to get her to not die.
Oh, she didn't
die?
So
she made it.
Okay. Well,
but
that's
it was
encouraging.
For a weekend, you're thinking, or maybe it was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's what it was, where you take them in and the cat's all like a sack of potatoes, but they weigh 3 pounds and you think they're dead. And I'm preparing the family for the news. This cat's probably not going to make it. And they make it. So I know at least our vet care these days is great, because in the old days, we don't want to think about the old days.
I would love for any of y'all out there listening to text in.
Actually, we got a text in.
Oh, we do? Already?
I mean, it's not any helpful information, but they just said, my sympathies about the parvo. I lost almost an entire litter of 9 Great Pyrenees puppies to parvo. It was a very helpless feeling.
Oh, see, I was really sad for myself, but I was really sad if it came from the breeder. She has 2 litters right now, and that would have been, apparently once it gets in the mix, there is no getting out of the mix.
Oh, no.
So gosh, that's so hard. Well, if y'all have any thoughts and suggestions, if you'd like to pray for baby Banks, please do.
Well,
but other than that, it was a great weekend.
We got to go to a break, but you were talking about the vets and the inconvenient timing when they asked for a bill. Mm-hmm. When we were in college, me and my college roommate, they were his pet, but I mean, it was him and I, our pet. or pets. It was guinea pigs.
Oh,
And they were awesome. Like it was so fun. Like we'd have friends over, we'd just like let them loose and watch them run everywhere. But
That's lunch in Ecuador.
yeah,
Kiwi.
there was
Kiwi.
there was
Yeah, that's what they call
one
'em.
there was one that was really sweet. His name was Pluto, and there was another one that was a
Oh.
little turd. His name was Baby Pluto, and he was always harassing Pluto. But Pluto one day, was having the same issues you were talking about. I can't remember what it was that he had, but my roommate / best friend had took him to the vet, and they had to put the guinea pig down,
What?
and it was really really sad. And my roommate was really upset about it. But apparently, after they
Oh.
put him down, the vet came in the room and goes, I know this is a really bad time, but how would you like to pay your bill today?
Oh.
It's so awful.
You're like, I could have let him die at home for free.
I know.
Exactly.
But
What?
Gosh.
baby Pluto is still alive and doing great. But yeah, it was
The mean one made it.
the
Why
mean
is
one
it
made
always
it.
like that?
the
Always
angel
the mean
the angel guinea pig did not make it. But
It's always that way. Well, we'll all say a prayer for baby Banks.
And my daughter, who is just like, she's like, how am I ever going to keep a child alive? It's only been 5 days,
We don't want to tell you
and
the
the
truth,
puppy's in the
Jennings,
hospital.
but
It's difficult.
it's hard. Every day you want to learn the phrase, we're up and not crying.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. Oh my goodness.
JP, when we come back, you said today's montage is
Is it a banger?
jam packed.
it's a doozy. It is. I don't think I could have put any more content in there. It was packed to the brim.
Did
so
we
yeah.
send you any of the same
Not the exact same, but
topics?
yeah, similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Well, you are listening to Rightside Radio, and on the other side, we'll have our montage and get started with some news. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside. I cannot wait for what's coming up next. Allison Sinclair, though, take it away.
So we have JP's Miraculous Miracle Monster Montage.
I think that's all of them. Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so. Yeah.
It's coming up,
For
which
now.
it is brought to you by attorney Stan McDonald, partner at the law firm of Wilmer Lee. Stan is a 30-year veteran in the practice of law in North Alabama, and not only will Stan advocate and fight for your legal needs and rights, but he has been an absolute warrior for causes near and dear to our Rightside ruffian community. I can vouch for that one. Attorney Stan McDonald has represented his clients like Lindsey Graham and Whittley thousands of real estate transactions over the years. And when Stan McDonald is on your side, you will have no greater friend. And likewise, your adversary will have no greater foe. Attorney Stan McDonald at the law firm of Wilmer and Lee is an America First family man and an attorney who's vigilant for those he represents. You can call him and reach him today at 256-533-0202, 256-533-0202. And if you call, let him know you heard about him on Rightside Radio. But now, time for Standby for the News.
Time for news.
Her life could be at danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Trader Green. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Technically true, based on what I've heard and what I know, that he didn't tell her not to run, but what she didn't say was that he sent her a poll privately, and it showed her down 20 points to John Ossoff.
I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country.
I don't think there are many people in the country who live out Donald Trump's own stated principles more precisely than Thomas Massey does. What the hell is going on that he is a target, but Lindsey Graham has an endorsement? But if Lindsey Graham continues to get elected, then the whole MAGA thing is totally fake.
We've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let them, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
What's kind of the chain that gets us to the stripes in the sky that we see?
Aircraft are taking off from countless locations. We're aware of a number of military bases where we know they're deploying from. We also have commercial aircraft with commercial markings that we know are being used in these operations. We have up-close photographs aimed into the exhaust jet stream to make this look like, quote, condensation. We are not implicating commercial pilots or personnel, but we are communicating with them.
We have a little man sitting in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue who really believes that Hitler was the greatest man ever on earth.
But, you have some strain on the right that says, oh, no, illegal immigration is bad. Legal immigration, no matter what, is good. And wait a minute. Now, I'm not saying any of it's that it's all bad or what, but is bringing 10 million people from like Somalia and dumping them into Georgia, is that good because it's legal?
Dude. It's a good one.
Thank you.
I was writing so fast because that is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Where do we start, peoples?
I think, where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
He doesn't even know why we're saying
MTG.
Yeah. I don't know what Where's the Beef is, but yeah. MTG.
I'm sorry for a second. Where's the beef? Okay, that used to be a Wendy's commercial.
Okay.
Back in like the 80s,
Dear JP.
90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I cared about Where's the Beef because Wendy's was the first like fast food place that was constructed on 280 when I was a kid. Okay. I lived back in the time where there were only trees and there weren't restaurants. And when they built restaurants, you're like, what's this? Anywho, the commercial at the time had a little old lady who said, where's the beef?
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And it's right there because they were making fun of other hamburger chains who didn't have delicious squares of meaty beef.
Which is totally natural.
It's so
Squares
natural.
Are very normal.
And they're not frozen, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay?
of course not.
Anywho, Where's the beef, guys? What is going on? What is going on?
Well, we got about 20 seconds, but I'll just say I think it's very multifaceted, but I think there's a ton of threads you can pull on.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was excellent.
Yeah. I think there's many different threads you could pull on in there. Not only, there's the Marjorie Taylor Greene Trump beef side of it, but I think that is just, it's a very trending and, topic that's getting a lot of eyeballs, but I think it's a part of a much bigger problem. So.
All right, then. So if you go anywhere, you're going to miss all of this, right, Sinclair?
That's right. Actually, I'm still writing because I have so many thoughts. If anybody cares, you should stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Allison Sinclair with Amy Beth Shaver and JP on the buttons, doing all the buttons.
The buttons.
The buttons. So I'm not sure what is going down inside Trumplandia, aka the GOP, aka America First versus MAGA. It's a whole thing. I'd like to read what Trump put out about Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Please do.
Well, you can read one of them because they're both kind of long, but
The Massey one in particular really upset me, but
I don't get it. The thing is, before I read them, it's kind of funny when it's going and he's talking about our true enemies, like the crazy left, like this. But I'm not sure. In that clip, it said, "Since when are Thomas Massey and MTG the enemies?" But yet we're all in on Lindsey Graham, who you know. And anyway, let me just read what he wrote. I'll read the MTG one, and then you can read your boy Thomas.
Okay, my boy.
Okay. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman, in quotation marks. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Maybe she's not very Congresswoman-like. Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world as opposed to being the laughingstock we were just 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the USA, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12%, didn't have a chance. And unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She's told many people that she's upset that I didn't return her phone calls anymore, but with 219 congressmen and women, 53 senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, which made me giggle. I don't know what's normal about that. I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district in Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics. And if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View with their low IQ Republican hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Do you have the Thomas Massey one?
I do. So a little bit of context on this one. Thomas Massey, who married his high school sweetheart, married for over 30 years, I believe, tragically passed away about a year ago. I think it was last year around this time, actually. And he just recently, within the past month, remarried. Donald Trump put up a Truth Social yesterday, said that Thomas Massey, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr., because of the fact that he always votes against the Republican Party, get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life with Thomas and question mark. His wife will soon find out that she's stuck with an all caps loser.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my thing with that one, and you know, Thomas Massey is much more libertarian than I am. So we for sure do not agree on everything. There's a lot of stuff I don't agree with Massey on. But Thomas Massey is not your enemy. Like, he's extremely principled and, you know, not going to vote on certain things because of the spending aspect of it. He's very principled on the foreign aid aspect. He's going to vote no on all foreign aid. But Massey is not the left lunatic that is our real enemy. Neither is Marjorie Taylor Greene. But it's like I understand that's Trump. I understand, you know, that's Trump trolling or whatever. But first of all, really out of line in my opinion. But also that just gets attention away from our real enemies. Our enemy is not Thomas Massey. Our real enemies are the leftists. So it's just really out of line, but also what's the point? It's just distracting from the real fight that we need to be having.
So you're right. And I'm going to add on to what you're saying. The enemy is not even even though some of the people we're talking about on both sides, maybe never mind, I'm not going to say both sides. The enemy are the principles and the policies that are ruining our country. And we're allowing these disagreements that are disgusting and rude. Here we are back to free speech. That's the enemy. And we're constantly getting distracted because we like to worship at the altar of being right. I am concerned as a woman, not as a woman. I'm concerned that a politician receives a poll that says, don't run because your numbers are low. Is this a reaction to bad news? And so now we're going to trot out and get ahead of it and say things about Trump. And now Trump's going to say things about this politician. I don't know. I'm confused by it all because here we are again, the same place we were last week, distracted from what is going on. Immigration, affordability, healthcare, education, and on and on and on. That's the problem. And here we are as Republicans fighting. Trump is so rude. It is unspeakably. You don't have to say any of that. But here he is, and y'all are all going to be surprised to know that we do this often. If we disagree with what he is saying, we'll tell you. We disagree. You did not need to say that. Zip it. You have no idea the grief involved in losing somebody close to you. And if you do, then please let that color your interpretation of events with someone like Thomas Massie. I agree that Thomas Massie can go against Trump, whatever. Either, again, here's the other thread, free speech or not free speech. So I can get mad at Trump and disagree with the rudeness that he is putting out there because it's totally rude. He's free to say this. She's free to say that. But please save it, dude, when it comes to somebody's new spouse. Save it. That is cruel. For anybody who's lost a spouse, you know that's cruel. But then we're back to the infighting and not dealing with what needs to be dealt with. You guys can't afford a place to live. We need to fix the interest rates. You've got to fix immigration. Marjorie Taylor Greene may or may not need to run again because she was showed a poll that she didn't like. And I'm also very concerned about the fact that she went out and was apologizing to the mainstream media, the very media she's criticized for years. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What is going on? I'm so confused. I'm really confused because nothing we need to get done is getting done. We have principles and policies that need dealing with. That's the enemy.
Just reminds me of middle school. Honestly, I mean, both sides, all of them. It is so childish and so embarrassing. And it's not anything new, but what's new is that we've turned the guns on each other. And all the while we're becoming what we hate on the left, which is, the left is extremely effective because they all fall in line with little ducks and you pledge allegiance to Kamala or, Sleepy Joe, whoever it is, even though he should have been in a home somewhere. They are very dedicated. And if you veer from that, you're outcast and you're shunned. And we always pushed that away and said, we will never be like that. And that's exactly what's happening. Trump is trying to get everybody to fall in line, nobody think outside the box or have their own opinion. And I don't like that at all. There are so many things in that tweet that Trump put out. I will give him credit for all the great things he's done. But I also will say this helps no one. And I don't even know what he's trying to achieve. Like, I'm genuinely asking, what is the point? Like, what do you think you're going to accomplish with this kind of rhetoric within your party? And we just lost Charlie Kirk. Tucker Carlson is whatever Tucker is right now. We don't have a leader. And Donald Trump historically has been our leader. I'm not following this childishness.
What he's doing is with Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene in particular, I think he's using them as an example to everybody else.
Like, if you get out of line, I'm coming after you.
I will come after you. I will fund the stew out of your primary opponent, and I will see you to be thrown out of Congress. I think maybe there's a sense of, Trump thinks that Massie and Greene can take it. I think the Marjorie Taylor Greene beef is a little more personal. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, if there was some personal annoyance, from MTG with Trump. So I think that one's a little more personal than Massey. I think he's using Massey as, the most example, because I think he knows Massey can take it and is tough. But I think he's using it to make examples out of people. But the troubling part is, literally, I think either the same day or the day before he disavowed and took back his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene, he was playing golf with Lindsey Graham. Like, that's not a joke. Like, he actually was playing golf with Lindsey Graham. I think he was playing in Lindsey's golf tournament. So what kind of world is it that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Massey are getting attacked, but Lindsey Graham gets an endorsement? All that does is just appease the current GOP swamp. And it's a slap in the face to young conservatives. And it shows the message of, if you can give me money, if you can flatter me, you'll get an endorsement. But if you, step out of line one bit, I'm going hard after you. And I don't think that's a good message to send. But I will say, so the whole segment's not bashing Trump. I will give Trump massive credit for backing Tucker Carlson, because that's a big Overton window statement. Because all the Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros and all of these people that claim that they're actual MAGA, Mark Levin loves to post truths that Trump, puts out about Mark Levin. Like, Mark Levin's whole shtick is, I'm Trump's buddy. I know MAGA better than you do. But I think Trump backing Tucker and saying he can interview whoever he wants, like that's a big statement for free speech.
Yeah.
So I'll give Trump credit for sure on like that. That is huge. But I think a real question needs to be had about, what is MAGA? Is MAGA Lindsey Graham and the swamp, or is MAGA the Masseys and Marjorie Taylor Greenes who have independent thought? So I think that's the bigger issue.
I think when he acts like the narcissist that we have heard the leftists call him for so long, when he acts like that, they're like, see, we told you. You can't reason with somebody like that. You just can't. And it's his way or the highway, period. And I wish that we could have our personal disagreements, but then come together around all the good things he did, because you're right. He's done amazing things for our country. And for that, we're grateful. But when you hear a narcissist talk, you're like, forget it, y'all. Like, just go back to the house. There is literally nothing you can say or do. Lindsey flatters him. They don't. And he wants to crush them because he likes to win. Above anything else, he likes to win. We know that. But I think it was apparent this weekend that it's a little withering. And that's where the Democrats win. Every time they are right behind whoever's leading them. And we are so darned independent. We insist on doing things our way. And we have a very hard time falling in line, which is why we make bad leaders ultimately down the road, because we're handed positions of leadership and then we just do nothing. So
I don't want to lose that, though. I mean,
I don't either. I don't either.
But there is a balance.
I don't know how, without Christ, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah. I do think maybe on the other side, we can talk about, what is MAGA? Is it still a thing? Is it blindly following Trump? Is it sticking to the GOP platform and conservative values? Because it seems to be an inflection point of, I'm not really sure what that means anymore. I don't know if America does either. But we got to pull it together, because we've got some elections coming up and we're going to be toast if we can't get it together. You're listening to Rightside Radio. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside, where we are going to go to lunch, but not now.
So,
So
maybe I should give you a heads up warning when your mics are hot right before we come back. Yeah.
you know what, JP? And I should know that. I'm a grown woman. Okay. I'm a grown person.
Just don't ever use last names in the studio.
Nope.
You
Not
never
last
know.
names. Maybe we don't need, we need something. We may need to just write right here, like right here, so nobody can
Learn
see.
some sign language.
I'm a grown person and I know that. So lesson learned. Okay. So are we texting or are we, you said MAGA. What is MAGA anymore? What does that mean?
I don't even think I know. Do you, JP?
I think, okay, if we're being realistic about what MAGA has become, I think MAGA has been hijacked by people with a lot of money and the GOP swamp. Because in 2016, that was a massive, massive coup, if you will, against the establishment on the right. Like Trump winning, and not only winning in the primaries, the Republican side, but beating the Clinton establishment. Like that was a big moment. I think the establishment on the right, the GOP swamp, learned how to infiltrate MAGA, aka with a lot of money / flattering Trump and telling him what he wants to hear. So then I think they use that to hijack. We saw it in the first administration where it's like the people in Trump's administration were like not what MAGA is supposed to be. I worry if the same thing's happening again in Trump's second administration with Lindsey Graham. We talked about people like Susie Wiles who are in the administration that all the things I've heard about her, via reports are not great, but yet MTG and Massey are going, getting attacked. So MAGA right now, if you want the truth, I think it's the GOP swamp that is infiltrating things. And I'm not saying that everything that's being done is bad, but I think there's a little bit of hesitancy, like, whoa, Trump, don't deport all of our workers. We need them. We give you money. We're at Mar-a-Lago. Do you want us to suffer? I think that's truthfully what it is right now.
Question. May I ask a question?
Why are you asking me? Yes.
Kind sir. So who is making those decisions and pulling those strings and influencing the Susie Wiles and who's the biscuit that held up the sign that said, hey, 50-year mortgages is a good idea?
Pulte,
Bill Pulte.
Bill, whatever. Who is running that show?
That's a good question, because just like in 2016, like you're saying, MAGA is the dream. MAGA is the American dream that we all buy into. It's a revitalized American dream. And it is very troubling. And I don't know who's pulling the strings, except they have a lot of money and they'll spend every last dollar to make sure that the lobbyists are paid, that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce gets its money, everybody's getting help but us. And why? I thought we learned our lesson the first time. And here we are doing it again. It's like we're just handing it over. And then he comes out with something like this morning. He's got plans to gut Obamacare. That's great. Is that actually going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's a great question. And probably everybody's asking. It's money, but whose money?
Well, some of his biggest donors, they're out there. People like Miriam Adelson, I think is one.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Ackman.
She has terrible hair, too.
She does.
Does she have bad hair?
Oh,
wait, is she the one with the really short hair?
No.
She's got the bleach.
It's bleach blonde. It's 1980s, like how we did our bangs back then.
Are you saying Tammy Faye Baker?
No, more like she's in an 80s hairband. It's almost like
I gotta look her up.
I think other good ones are Silicon Valley, Peter Thiel,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Ackman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Elon Musk, I would have said him before the falling out, who's been really pro H-1B. So I think if you go and follow the money and look at his biggest donors and then look at the policies that are getting pushed, I think you can kind of connect the dots.
Yeah, somebody's going to be unhappy, and it usually ends up being us. You can't have it. You can't have everything. So he's needed to figure out if he's for us or for them. Oh, we'll be back.
Somebody's got to send us out.
Rightside. Apparently, JP now needs to tell me that the mics are hot. Thank you, JP, so that I don't say anything silly or ridiculous.
I'm gonna step out and take this phone call because it's the vet.
Oh, goodness.
So y'all got it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So everybody, will keep you updated on the sweet pup. Hopefully the news is good. So JP.
Yes, ma'am.
What we haven't had a chance to look through the woke PBS situation going on in Alabama. Before we do that, we had wrestled through your killer montage up to what is MAGA and who's pulling the strings. But the next thing, because I want to wait until Allison comes back so we can talk about it, and I know perhaps tomorrow we'll discuss chemtrails, is the last thing that you mentioned, and maybe you want to talk about this, is you're writing now for a paper in Athens.
I am. I actually don't know if they've announced it yet, but yeah.
And you talked about this very thing, which is ironic that this ends up being the first thing we kick off our show with today.
Yeah. So basically the gist of it was, like we were talking about, MAGA seems to be entering a transition / we're kind of seeing a MAGA civil war, if you want to put it that way, a MAGA split at the very least. And so the first time the GOP will be Trumpless since 2015, this upcoming election. So what will the GOP look like moving forward? Because Trump has been the GOP since 2015. And it's not a good sign, because with Trump appearing to kind of, appease the GOP swamp, or not even the GOP swamp, but these people like Bill Ackman and Peter Thiel, lifelong Democrats who saw Trump as an opportunity to, if I give this guy money, I can talk in his ear and maybe I can get something out of this. They're not conservative. They're not traditional. They're old school Democrats. They're just using Trump. I think when Trump appeases to those, instead of appeasing to the likes of Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm not saying I agree with everything they say,
right?
But it's a slap in the face to young conservatives, because it says I care more about the establishment and the people that give me money rather than my young conservatives. Because right now is the turning point. If the Gen Z support of the GOP goes by the wayside, because Trump's approval rating with Gen Z was 58% in January. As of last week, there was a poll that it was at 38%. Things causing that was the Epstein file debacle, the continued support of the war in Gaza, and America's role in it, and then the 50-year mortgage crap. 50-year mortgages, and it looks like you're just committing young people to banks for 50 years instead of, I don't know, deporting illegals, keeping BlackRock from owning single-family homes. Stuff like that is what the young conservatives want to see, not this simple fix. Well, you pay pay less on each payment, even though your interest is way through the roof. You got to pay more long-term. My point in saying that is, if the policies that Trump supports doesn't appeal to the young conservatives, it continues to appeal to the money and his donors, then the GOP, the future of the GOP is going to be crap, because the future of the GOP is Gen Z conservatives. And if they're not on board with the GOP anymore and they just don't vote at all, then that gives room to the radical left to come in with socialism. Like we saw it with Zohran Mamdani, and they come in and they just win, because I'm not saying young conservatives will vote Democrat. They just won't vote at all, because they'll see the whole system as, what's the point?
So do you think that right now Gen Z feels ripped off?
A lot of them do. And if you go on, the interwebs where Gen Z operates, this is why the people that claim the MAGA split is just an online discussion. Yeah, well, the online discussion is with the future of the GOP. That's where they're conversing. So that is a window into the future of the GOP.
So how do you think you get Gen Z to look past Trump and his foibles to being committed? Because the other part about your generation is that you're more churched. Young men are going to church at quite the clip. Like, this is great. So you're getting grounded again. Young women are, like my daughter, turning home and was always going to be a mom, but was halfway through her master's and then started having children. And she's happily at home. But that's such a refreshing restoration. And please Don't hear me saying what I'm not saying. You do what you have to do for your family, period. But tradition seems to be coming back in your generation.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
So how do you get young men and women who are forward thinking, because you can see through the morass of Trump and this, you feel ripped off right now. How then do you get the thought process to be, he may be being foolish right now and we can't trust him, but we still want to conserve American principles. How do you do that?
It's a lot more simple than you would think. It's just the act of doing it. I think it's real simple of, hey, we want 10 million illegal aliens gone by the end of this administration. Do whatever you got to do to get that done. I think when it comes to that, you got the likes of Susie Wiles or others in the administration that go, whoa, that is awful optics. That's going to crush us in the midterms. I don't like seeing these protesters get thrown around by ICE when they're blocking roads and such. That is not because that's I don't know. That's a little scary. Yeah. Gen Z conservatives, they want action. They want action long term. And, so deporting illegal aliens, things such as the banning BlackRock from buying up single family homes, foreign aid that, if you ask questions about where foreign aid is going, that doesn't make you a hateful person. That doesn't make you, an isolationist. It's just, hey, that money could be put into Americans instead of, whatever such battle or whatever conflict overseas. You're not a hateful person for doing that. And so I think that those are the big three.
Okay.
Home affordability, deportations, and I think America first policies, and stop shaming people as anti-Semites or whatever because they ask certain questions, because all that does is radicalizes the conservatives and the Gen Z even more. And it makes them lose hope in the system altogether. I think it's so simple because it's a lot of what Trump ran on. I think the old school Republicans got in his ear and who love to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory and go, whoa. Let's not go that far. That's a little far. Yeah. Well, conservatives and Gen Z are radical, and not in the way of, they're a Nazi generation. They want action, and they're not going to listen to the, but the left, can you imagine what the left will do if we'll do that? That's what kills it.
Yeah.
So.
Every time. I think that's great. And I think it's probably why Charlie Kirk said, you guys are going to be the ones to save the country. You are the future of the country. I think that's right, because you are action oriented. And I think once we had buy-in from you guys, I think Trump mistakenly thought he'd always have buy-in from you guys. But I also believe that you will be the ones to work around and outwit and outplay and outlast and go, absolutely not. We're not buying any of this. You need to do what you said you're going to do.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same thing that our good friend Scott Beeson used to say when it came to elected officials and their palm cards. Just do what you said on your card.
Yeah.
When you begged for us to elect you. Just do that and we'll be fine. And I also agree with you. And at some point, we will have to have a long discussion about church history.
Yeah.
And what the church was taught up until the Schofield Study Bible in the 1850s, because you're right. We should be allowed to ask questions without people hurling insults back at us, because often when you hurl back insults, it's because you don't have information. How about let's just ask questions and freely discuss ideas before we decide somebody is or isn't a particular type of person. Like that makes you not different than the people you say, we're not going to be like them. And then you turn into them. That's really interesting. But I do think you're capable of it, because I have been impressed at every turn. Our kids, my kids are y'all's age. I mean, 26 on down. And they pay so much attention. They're often passing details to me that I didn't know about or I had just started investigating. So we're glad you are here and part of the show to offer your perspective. But I also know the listeners are going to appreciate reading what you have to say.
Thank you.
And it's motivating for us to start writing again and to expand our platform. But I just wanted to give our vast audience a heads up that you guys have good stuff from JP to look forward to in Athens and soon beyond.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And one last thought to wrap a bow on it.
Yeah.
The left does not have the issue that the GOP is having right now of trigger shy to do certain things.
Ugh.
They are fully united. Whatever they say they're going to do,
They do it.
They do it, and then more. So I'm not sure this administration understands what's at stake. This is not 2001, politics. We need action, and we have to actually set the left back, because if we don't, the left's going to be ready to strike, while the iron's hot. So it's just the action needs to happen now. So,
Yep, you're exactly right. Well said, JP.
thank you.
All right. More news, more info, more discussion when we come back from this break. And then we have guests in the 4 o'clock hour. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Rightside. We'll be back. Welcome back to Rightside. If you missed it, you've missed a lot. But I can tell from the text line, y'all are very active today. We're very grateful. We're coming to your text line. I have one more thought because I was conversing with a friend on the socials. We were talking about Trump, MTG, Massey, et cetera, et cetera. And I was only looking at it from one side. I said MTG got her feelings hurt. You know what? Trump's feelings are hurt too.
That's true.
Because you don't act that way and lash out that violently. I'm just using violent as a figurative word, but just
dramatically.
Just big feelings for two grown folks, three grown folks, okay? Unless your feelings are hurt. And why are your feelings hurt? Because you actually cared about the person. So I think you're right. It's going back to your assessment that this is personal. This feels way more personal than other times. So I think all their feelings are hurt. You're dealing with people who are politicians who have big feelings and their whole world is on display. I'm still bothered that MTG has gone to the lame stream and decided to apologize. That really bothers me.
Yeah.
Really bothers me, the things that Trump has said. But more than that, it bothers me that as a country and people who believe the way that we believe cannot seem to get ourselves in line behind policies and principles that can serve American values. That bothers me.
Yeah. But it's not even the Trump said mean things. It's why are you doing that at Marjorie Taylor Greene? If he did that at Schumer, AOC, Bernie, it's like, yes.
I got no problem with that.
That is our real enemies. But when he does it to people on the right that step out of line a little bit, it's like, to stop. We're getting distracted. And it's just frustrating. I wish it would be directed at our real enemies. There's no enemies to the right of us. I can promise you that. The people to the right of us, or people that disagree a little bit, they don't kill us like the radical left has started to do. So
yeah, it's vicious. And again, for me, I'm sure, I don't even know, I can't say that for sure. For me, it's about the principles that they adhere to are completely antithetical to the ones that we do. And they have no trouble training their vitriol on us. And you're right. We shouldn't train our vitriol on each other. Stop. Yeah. Just stop it. Get back to running the country. Zip it, y'all. I'm putting everybody in a timeout. Just go to your corner and stop talking.
Agreed.
Take away his Diet Coke. All right. We have some great text, JP.
We do. We got Michael from Moulton here. Starting at the top. Says, totally agree with JP on Trump's mouthy tweets. It's also part of the reason I can't even get a liberal to understand the global market price of a barrel of oil right now is down, because they're too busy being distracted by any economic progress due to him running his mouth, blinding them.
Okay.
That's another interesting angle.
That's very interesting.
Another text here says, Massey and Green have stood on principles for years. They have proven stability, which is more than could be said of Trump and his rhinos. Well, yeah, I think the rhino part, for sure. I think Trump has been steered. Trump, when he's not being distracted / flattered by the rhinos, can be awesome. It's just getting him not to be distracted by the rhinos. It's the problem.
That's exactly right.
We got Mark from Red Bay. Oh, that was about the Parvo incident. John from Minor says, y'all are doing the best of jobs on this show. I appreciate y'all staying true and honest to your values. I've never laughed so hard listening to the show. I must mention much love to y'all and all praise to the Father.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much. Happy way to kick off a Monday.
David from Huntsville says, I don't like Trump's behavior at times, but really glad to see that we want the best Republicans in the Green and Massey seats.
That's funny and true.
Yeah. Mike from Florence says, the phrase, quote, making housing more affordable. Oh, excuse me. The phrase is, quote, making housing more affordable, not, quote, make payments more affordable. A 50-year mortgage only pushes the actual cost down the road. Some property does actually depreciate. How much is yours going to be worth in 50 years? Nancy Pelosi probably knows, because some factors are where highway money is going to be spent and what industry is coming or not. Property owners around Bellefonte nuclear plant probably wish they never took on a 20 to 30-year mortgage.
Well said. That's a very good point.
Because like the pitch is, well, you could pay less on each payment. It's like, that is such a bank lobbyist, elitist. Well, come on, you just sign on the line. Does this much seem more on each inch or on each payment, or is this much more? You want to pay less each payment, right? They think you're stupid.
They do think we're stupid. And have you ever stopped to consider when I was a little kid, cars were very inexpensive, homes were very inexpensive. And it's a great way to invest money. I get it. But have you ever even stopped just to think about the price of cars? I mean, soon we'll go back and go, you know what? A horse is not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some of the cars you look at and you think that is $150,000. How in the world? That's what houses cost when we were newlyweds. Good houses.
Mhm.
So I think we really have a lot to work on economically and reducing inflation, lowering the interest rates, working on providing American jobs, which also involves deportation. It also involves getting honest about why we're dumping people in certain places in the country and why or why not that works. It doesn't work, by the way. That's like the trick question. Figure out the H-1B visa situation by putting a halt. I saw an old friend say that today. Just stop everything right now. Pause. Evaluate.
Yep.
Then move forward. We are running at a breakneck speed into a tornado and we're hoping nobody gets hurt. That's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So we don't know the word pause in government. We only know the word spend and new horrible ideas and then spend some more and let's vote on it and let's make some money off of it. We only know that. But the rest of us are out here going, pause,
Mhm.
hold it, add some common sense. Hey, Elon Musk, where are you?
Yeah.
We need you right now, dude.
Agreed.
Anyway, don't go anywhere. We've got more on the other side.
I can't hear you.
I
and
can't
have
hear
my
you because
headphones
our
on.
headphones are amazing. If you're looking for headphones, get these because you can hear Jack squat.
I was just letting you know your mics were hot.
Well, I figured you were saying that, but just wanted to let you know that our headphones are awesome. So I
They
can't
are.
hear you when you're telling me things, but it's just more fun to say it on the air. That's all. You guys,
Yes. Use guys.
which topic do you want to? We have 2 surprise topics, guys. 2, and they're bangers.
Well, I'm going to choose Meemaw.
Okay, I choose Meemaw too.
What do
Isn't
you
that what we
choose,
said?
JP?
Do we say Meemaw?
The high stepper Meemaw.
The high stepper.
The high stepper situation.
That was good.
It's coffee.
Yeah.
I think the high stepper is a little confused as to who she is today. Yellowhammer News, Grayson Everett has an article out, and it will just drive you bonkers. Okay, Abs, you've got that pulled up. Let
Yeah,
me
I
just
do.
read. This has to do with the public broadcasting system and funding from the federal government, the Alabama Public Television, and how conservatives are calling for it to be unfunded, defunded, unalived, because they clearly have a left-wing agenda.
They have an agenda.
And when you read, Abs is going to read what is on this
The agenda.
PBS APT. But before she does, let me read to you what Kay Ivey has been saying. I am writing about the prospect of APT disaffiliating with PBS. Okay, I probably shouldn't do it like in the voice. Disaffiliating with PBS, Governor Ivey writes in the letter. As governor, I've worked hard to promote and defend Alabama values, from standing up for the sanctity of human life and our rights to religious liberty, to standing against DEI, CRT, and boys playing girls sports. For the sake of our people, though, it is imperative that APT's programming align with Alabama values. At the same time, I have also strived to ensure that this is where I have to giggle. I have also strived to ensure that state government operates in an orderly fashion with due regard for deliberation and collaboration among stakeholders. I'm calling BS.
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to? Do I need to raise my hand?
Does anybody remember COVID? Yes, you may go, Abs, because since when, besides when she decides, does she have strive to ensure that state government operates in an orderly fashion with due regard for deliberation and collaboration among stakeholders? Never. She closes what she wants. She opens what she wants. She fires Kent Davis when she wants. She does all these things when she wants. And if she doesn't want to fire Scott Harris, she doesn't. And now all of a sudden she's saying she's the beacon of deliberation and debate in Alabama.
Allison Sinclair. So often we send JP the same clips. Also, I'm sorry that my arm was hitting the table. But that was going to be my exact question. What do you actually mean when you say orderly fashion and stakeholders? Because ding, 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 when I hear the word collaboration and stakeholders, I think, those words sound Marxist.
Like the World Economic Forum?
Just a little fishy. And so I don't know what that means, because we're praising it on the one hand, and then we're making space for the other group on the other hand. And I too, because we started working together during the COVID, know that that's somebody just wrote that up. Orderly fashion, stakeholders. I mean, those are literally Marxist terms. When are we going to learn? This is not the government's job.
Well, if you want to deliberate and listen to your constituents and have a discussion about things, I'm all for that. But you don't get to pick and choose what you want to deliberate and hear from your constituents about and what you don't. Obviously, this is just, in my opinion, a stall tactic to continue to allow the Alabama Public Television and PBS run the crap that you're about to read off of that list.
Everyone, gird your loins. Number one. And look, for those of you that are about to get upset, you have your own family. You can do what you want. But this is our money funding crap that we don't want. Number one, Sesame Street Pride Month post and calls to defund PBS 2025. The official Sesame Street accounts posted Pride Month graphics and messages. Everyone is welcome. Rainbow-style imagery tied to LGBTQ inclusion. Do y'all remember when you watched Sesame Street? How old were you?
I was big Sesame Street kid.
I was too.
Aw.
How old were you?
I had Ernie and
5.
who's the other guy? Ernie and
Bert.
Bert. I had toys of
Bert
Ernie
and Ernie
Bert.
here.
Bert and Ernie, yeah.
You kind of look like, which one's bald?
Bert. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Your new name is Bert.
I was an Ernie kid. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I liked Ernie and I liked Grover and Big Bird. Okay.
But we just counted and ate cookies.
And yeah, that was
And
it. And hope that maybe Grover would come out of the trash can that day.
The most scandalous was, that Grover was kind of mean
It's
and angry.
Okay.
Now we've got Pride Month because 5-year-olds need to know about gender equality
Apparently.
Of course.
and that everybody can have 2 mommies.
So this matters because it's a current high profile directly tied to Sesame Street and PBS branding pride politics in a way that triggered a sustained defund push. So it's just grooming. Conservatives flipped, according to what we have, because it's grooming. We know what it is. And we're not idiots to suggest it, and you don't have to name call that. Why else would you put this in front of a 5-year-old? Somebody, like I'm 5. Make that make sense. Number 2, I'll just do 3 of them. Sesame Street Family Day episode with 2 gay dads. Okay, I'm going to just let that. I'm going to let that there. And then we watched the heck out of some Arthur in my house. Did y'all watch Arthur
we were
when
not
the kids
Arthur
were little?
people.
Okay, we watched Arthur.
He's
you know?
kind of dorky.
Well, maybe. He probably is dorky, but I was on Eastern time back then.
It's probably all you had over there.
It's all we had. All right, nobody blame me, but we did our best. Arthur's Mr. Ratburn, which could you have chosen a better last name? Mr. Ratburn gay wedding episode from 2019. I'm sorry. These are 5-year-old children. What are you doing other than preparing them to make amends or make friends with this lifestyle? Please, I beg you. I lied. I'm going to give you a few more. Postcards from Buster, Lesbian Moms episode. Clifford the Big Red Dog reboot with 2 moms. Also, we watched the heck out of Clifford the Big Red Dog. And finally, WNet's Let's Learn Drag Queen Story Time for 3 to 8-year-olds. Because that's normal, said Allison as she's lowering her chair. So, guys,
I got to get close to the mic for this one.
Help me understand why we should fund that.
If that's what you want to teach your kids in your own home, I don't care. I do. But I can't stop you. But I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for what was in the Shelby County Library that we had to go see, which was board books for 4-year-olds about how to change your gender and wear dresses well when you're a boy. It's just not what historically we protect our children. Historically, we protect the family's right to teach their children what they want as parents. We give parents the right. And that has just been stripped away over the years. And imagine though, but think about this. Think about if public television was funding Jesus is the only way. God should be in every, which I actually believe all these things, but God made marriage just a man and a woman, which is true. Or, whatever it is, if it were more rooted in biblical truth, if your North Shelby Library had a whole section about traditional marriage and how that is the only way and blah, 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 blah. Imagine the uproar. How quickly would that have been defunded? And now we're debating our Republican governor, who, used to be a Democrat, probably still is contemplating whether this is good programming and we should continue to pay for it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And I think it's just really stupid.
Well, we just go back to the same theme, I think, always of we're supposed to be a Republican supermajority, but yet our allegedly Republican governor can't even get it. Like, this is a layup. This is something that like the Republican congressmen in DC all got right because it's so easy. Yeah, obviously you stop funding the transgender ideology with taxpayer money. Like, that's just so easy. But the question is, why? Like, who's the special interest or whoever that is convincing Kay Ivey to whoa, hold the brakes here. But it's just, this is not how a Republican supermajority acts when the governor who's supposed to be leading the charge messes up and blunders something this easy. Doesn't make sense.
And then I'm sitting here thinking while y'all are talking about Abigail Schreier's book from 2020. She's got two really good books. One is transgenderism, and especially with our girls. And the other one is about bad therapy. Phenomenal books. I think they're right back there. And do you think about how activists flip out when we decide we're going to take this on because no one else will? And they lose their mind because they can't have drag queen story hour, or they can't put the books on the shelves, or they won't even graciously just move them out of certain sections in Prattville's library, for example. They put up a fight every time, which is so interesting because if you take the stats and correlate them with Abigail Schreier's book, that in 2012, there was like 0.2%. It was a minuscule amount, barely anything written about transgenderism or any of the things that we're dealing with right now, barely anything. And then you have this major push to get this in front of kids. And what's the percentage of kids, according to the New York Times, that identify as trans or bi, or they've changed their gender, their thinking? What do we have? 175 genders now, which is ridiculous. So it coincides with this push to do what is wrong and put this in front of our children. So there is going to be a fight about this where there should be no fight. There's always an agenda and we're always behind, right? And it's firing me up just sitting here listening to it because it should be a layup. This is a no-brainer, just like it should have been a no-brainer for our Senate to pass the obscenity bill. We will not forget that, and we are waiting for that to come up again so we can constantly talk about it. So y'all actually will pass it and get it out of committee. Oh no, we're so sorry, it didn't pass. But it's interesting that the push to get this in front of our kids coincides with the LGBTQ agenda, pushing something we wouldn't have even conceived of 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And yet here we are, a governor debating on whether or not this is right or wrong to defund and separate from. Like I'm 5 again, make that make sense.
Yeah, and her whole, I support deliberation in the state. That's so fake. It's so fake. No, she doesn't. She just wants a way out.
The shareholders.
No, stakeholders.
Oh, stakeholders.
Which is very World Economic Forum talk. I just can't handle it. But look, tear it all down, burn it all down. I don't even care. I mean, if this is what we're putting in front of the best we have to put in front of our kids, just get it done. But again, like you said, JP, we're a Republican supermajority, but it took us like 3 years to pass the bill defining what a woman was. So you're not convincing me that we are what we say we are. We just aren't. Okay. On that note, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP, and we're going to read your text. Who wants to go first? Allison, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mike from Florence, always witty, said Republicans need their own drag queen story hour. Harriet, the champion of Formula One drag racing. Oh,
Funny.
I might pay for that.
That's funny.
PBS. Let's see.
Ooh. Oh, Brad.
Brad from Crimestone County. Just finished reading Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death. Even when Sesame Street was good, it wasn't. I wish you could expand on that, but you can't talk to me through that. Well, you could text me and tell me what you mean by that. Is he saying they've been after us the whole time?
Yes, that's what he's saying. I need to put that book back in my thrift books basket. Honey, I'm adding another book to the basket.
At least you're reusing, thrifting it.
That's it. You know, the PBS has always had an agenda because it's a government's agenda. It's a liberal agenda. I mean, think about the shows we watched, even though we loved watching Sesame Street.
What else? I mean, was the Berenstain Bears, was that PBS? Because they were pretty, or I thought, unless.
The Who?
Oh, my word. The Berenstain Bears, you know, the bear family that lived in the tree.
Clifford, was he really a furry?
No, Clifford was not a furry.
Clifford used to be awesome.
Clifford was awesome. Yeah.
But have we just been under the spell of the government forever?
Probably. That's upsetting.
We do have a retraction correction. And we should know better, Abs.
Oh, bless. Okay. I'm sorry. Already, I'm sorry.
Badger from Athens corrected us.
Okay.
Duh. Grover was nice and a superhero. Oscar the Grouch was the one in the trash
Oh, my
can.
word. What's my problem?
Yeah, and
you know what? I take away human points. Okay?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The Grouch should have tipped me off as to that he was angry and mean.
Oscar.
Yeah. But no, Grover was nice.
Grover.
Oh, that was pretty good.
That was good.
I liked Grover.
Let's see. Here we go. Nathaniel from Huntsville. This is kind of a deep thought. We're going back to the start of the show. I think we need to be honest about Trump. He is a temporarily useful leader. Never in his life has he conserved a thing. He has no grasp on the doctrine of salvation and has never espoused a return to tradition ideology. He ran because Obama embarrassed him, and he became Obama's worst nightmare. Trump has a wall full of praise from libs and progs. What's that?
Progressives.
Oh, yeah. And his heel turn is useful only insofar as his utility. That is, he's great at pushing an agenda, and he's only on our side because it's convenient and we hold him accountable.
There's some deep thoughts from Nathaniel.
I have to agree. I mean, Trump is a populist. Trump has always been for what's best for Trump, what is best in his, and best is whatever gets him the most popularity and the most votes. It just so happens that our paths are merging and have for a few years. But I think we're fooling ourselves if we think that Donald Trump was always going to be one of us. He actually never claimed to be one of us. Maybe for a minute. But if you're paying attention, Donald Trump is today who Donald Trump has always been.
That's a great point.
So we shouldn't be shocked with where we are. Now, in the same vein, we use him for to accomplish our means. There's no way we were voting for Kamala, what was Jamala, Kamala.
They call me Mamala. That's on Saturday Night Live.
That wasn't an option.
No.
So we work with what we have. But Nathaniel's right. I mean, Trump is just Trump.
Well said, Nathaniel. Also, Allison.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Just had one moment. So when we come back, I think we're gonna have a guest. Is that right? JP, you got it worked out?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Stick around. We'll be back on the other side.
Welcome back to Rightside. It is the last hour of the day. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP, and we are so glad you're here. Glad for your fabulous text, very wise insights, and just to hear from you. We appreciate it. So far, it's kind of been one giant conversation rolled into another from the Trump MTG beef. We've talked about, we didn't even really go to the Tucker Trump situation. We mainly talked about what's going on with the Republican Party and MAGA in general. And is it still a thing? We've covered the PBS, our governor, what's going on there. And it kind of dovetails because it's really all about education and specifically our kids, because our kids are the ones, when they're little, they're watching PBS in the morning before we go off and do whatever it is we're going to do. But we are joined by somebody right now who has something to announce, and it has everything to do with education. So we would love to welcome our guest, Kathy Bradford. Kathy, how are you?
I'm great, Amy Beth. Thank you so much.
So we, especially Allison, knows you well from her local organization and for the work that you've done. But Allison tells me something special about you, and that is that you are very passionate about what you're about to announce. Could you tell us about that? And then we'll dive into a couple of questions that we have for you.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So my name's Kathy Bradford, and I am running for State Board of Education District 6. And I'm sure Allison has alluded to the fact that I'm very passionate about education and that I just want to make sure that our kids in Alabama are getting what they need every day.
You've been in the classroom for how long, Kathy?
About 26 years, actually.
And
I
what
spent
grades?
19 years here in Alabama.
So 19 years in Alabama. You've been around long enough to remember the good old days and how we used to do things old school.
Yeah, that is true.
What has changed? What are you seeing in the classroom, and what is your motivation? What made you want to jump into this race? Because honestly, I always say no normal, good, rational person wants to run for political office. But if we don't have normal, good, rational people running, then nothing ever changes. So I appreciate what you're doing, but why now? What has prompted you to get into this race?
Well, my platform really consists of three things. And first is a back to basics, where there's solid academics, clear expectations, and letting the teachers actually teach. And that kind of segues into my second point, which is there's a lot of time these days spent in the classroom on mental health issues. And I am strongly of the opinion that schools should be gateways to mental health services and not the providers of it. And teachers in the classroom these days are spending a lot of time away from their curriculum, away from what they're supposed to be teaching, and working on literally things that, in my opinion, counselors and trained counselors should be working on.
So what does that look like in the classroom then? Because I think people may hear a lot about mental health, but they don't know what that means specifically that takes place in today's classroom.
Yeah, so we have lessons that we do in the classrooms weekly that take our time away from the curriculum that we're supposed to be teaching. And most of them, I know the state requires the districts to have programs that include social emotional learning teachings. And so the different schools have gone out and purchased different social emotional learning programs.
Oh dear.
Kathy got whisked away.
She did get whisked away. It's probably the
She
NSA.
turned into, yeah, it might be Kay. She's saying, shut it down. Oh gosh. Okay. Hopefully we'll get.
We're going to work to get her back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love where she's going with that.
Me too.
Oh, there you are. She's there.
I think we just got her back. Kathy, we lost you for a second. Sorry there, but I think we're back now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what I was saying is that we spend time every week on social emotional learning programs, and the state mandates that our schools in Alabama I don't know if they mandate that we purchase the programs, but that we teach from these different programs, and they're not specified by the state, the programs that we're supposed to use. But unfortunately, the programs that are available to us out there are not programs that reflect Alabama's conservative values. And so those are the programs that are being taught in our classrooms.
I have a question along those lines, and we have so many more things that we could talk to you about, but this whole subject about mental health coordinators in our schools and social emotional learning and really kind of the manipulation of kids could probably be a whole podcast or a whole show. But I'm curious what you think. Several years ago, when we were bringing social emotional learning and mental health coordinators to Alabama, one of the things that myself and actually two other people did was the very last day, we put in a provision where you had to opt in. The first in the country, it was an opt-in to receive these mental health. It was everything from like group therapy to seminars to one-on-one counseling. So parents had an option to opt in instead of opt out. It was a whole thing in the state, but I still stand by that was one of the best decisions we made, because increasingly daddy government is starting to take over the development and the raising of our children. Do you feel like that program that we have spent a ton of money on as a state is helping or hurting? Do you see benefits of it coming out of the classroom?
I honestly do not. Unfortunately, and we see it every year, when as soon as we teach a bullying lesson, the kids claim that they're being bullied, or as soon as we teach a suicide prevention lesson, kids claim that either they are or they know someone who has threatened to commit suicide. So really what we're doing, in my opinion, is we're putting those ideas in the kids' minds, and they're not prepared for those kind of conversations yet. Or they should be conversations that should be had between them and their parents, and not us at school.
So pivoting, but an equally important point that you brought up is you mentioned getting teachers and allowing them to teach once again. Tell me more about that.
Well, again, we spend a lot of time in our classrooms on the social emotional learning programs, and not enough time on our curriculum. Our classrooms, in my opinion, are, as far as class size goes, that was another thing I wanted to bring up, is our classrooms, we've got 28, 29, 30 kids in a classroom, and it's just far too many. So our classroom sizes need to be smaller, so that we can focus on the children in the classroom. I was just recently reading our Alabama report card, and in my district here alone, there are two schools that have the same poverty rate, but one has a classroom's average size of 15, and another has nearly 30 in the classroom. And of course, the school with a classroom size of 15 scores significantly higher on the report card.
How do you feel about the RAISE Act that was passed in the legislature this past session? How they're going to allocate funds for students?
Refresh me on that.
So basically, they're using, right now, it's the foundation program of how they appropriate funding for schools. It's basically the same number across the board from the state. It's just a number. You've got 2,000 students, you get this much per student. Well, now the RAISE Act, and it's funny that a lot of people aren't familiar with this. I didn't even know that this passed, but they're going to recalibrate how they give money to different school systems based on need. And a lot of what they focused on is the need for supporting ESL, English as a second language, and those students that are here. There's a discussion to be had, but I don't love that it seems like, reading through the material, that a lot of these schools that are high achieving will somewhat be neglected, in terms of they won't be able to have and be given as much money as the other schools. And we see that especially in Shelby County, where we are. Our school is kind of like the star school of the county. And it's funny, we almost get we get the short end of the stick on some of
Yeah.
the things because all the resources and all the attention goes to the other schools. And I don't know if maybe you can come back on sometime to talk about that, but I think we've got some things backwards. Not to mention
Right.
the
Well,
textbooks.
Yeah. Oh, good grief.
And I don't even know if we have time to get into the textbook issue, but
Yeah, I would love to come back and talk with you about that because I can say just from a teaching point of view that there are kids in the classrooms that aren't getting what they need because of other children in the classroom. A lot of us feel that we're missing the middle of the road average students,
right.
because we're constantly spinning our wheels, spending our time, and not that those kids don't deserve an education. They do, of course, but we're really struggling in the classrooms these days with the different populations in the classrooms, I guess you could say.
Wow. Kathy, thank you for making this announcement today. And we would love to have you back and to talk about a couple of other things. And I know we have time, but where can people find out more about you and about your campaign?
Well, I have a website. It is kathybradfordforstateboard.com. And on the website, it links to my Facebook and my Instagram page. And so I would love for people to follow me there and learn more about me. And I just can't say enough how strongly I feel about running for this position. We need to take back our state and our country and ensure that this next generation.
Did she know we had to go to a break?
I bet she did.
Look at Kathy go. She's a pro. Well, Kathy, thanks so much for coming on. We will take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside, where perhaps in the next segment we will chemtrail it. You know, that word that crazy people used years ago.
It's so bizarre to say that.
Did you know that chemtrails exist? Actually, they were not wrong. I get pictures of chemtrails from one of my children.
We're going to have to explore this because a few years ago, I would have said you were absolutely insane talking like this.
Well, I was in the same boat with you.
And we're going to have people that still think we're absolutely insane. But when you have the head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, coming out and saying chemtrails are real, I think you better listen up.
Well, how about this? How about CBS, like big CBS? I think it was from 2015-ish, maybe earlier, had a story on it that the people who knew that I was like, you know, the face that goes, the record break, that face would send me to that story. It's been out there, but it's so insane that you think there's no way it can be true. Or that our government would try to seed clouds and put things.
I'm convinced. What was the movie Twisters? The new one that just came out?
Oh, yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
What's wrong with ugh?
Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. Get with the program, man. It's a good song.
What was wrong with the movie? There were no cows flying in the air. Do you even know what that reference is?
Is that the original Twisters movie?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It was just it. I don't know exactly why I didn't like it very much, but it seemed a little too. I hate to say unrealistic because obviously it's a movie, but it was like over the top. Like, I mean, it was a kid's movie, wasn't it? Kind of.
No.
I don't know. It wasn't. It was a little too much. Like every time they went out in the field, there was an F5 twister. Like, oh,
that's because they're chasing them.
Yeah.
Also, because they're in Oklahoma. Everybody knows that.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the OG Twisters movie, but
it's just Twister.
Twisters, sorry.
And then Twisters. But I sit there and go, they were just grooming us with that movie. They put Glenn Powell in it, made him super cute.
Yep.
And then got us used to, it's great. The superhero, the hero saves the day with weather manipulation. And we're all supposed to be for it. Y'all, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. But it's weird. And we're going to get into it. I guess we've got to take another break.
Well, we got like 3 minutes, but.
Well, do you want to read some text?
Yeah, we can read some text. Let's see. Where did we leave off on? Oh, I see. Okay, I think Badger was the last one. Mike from Athens, when he was talking about, or we were talking about the what Sesame Street and all the other woke crap that was on kids' TVs. He said, "How is that not grooming?" ?
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
Mike from Florence, Alabama. I think we read his. Said Republicans need their own drag queen story hour. Yeah, Caleb with a K, by the way.
What?
Hey, Caleb with a K
said. It's a shame to have a governor that is so MIA that she's a non-thought. I honestly forgot she exists for most of the part until she randomly pops out to make a statement, especially contrasted with Florida's governor.
Did he just
well
call
said.
Kay Ivey a thought?
Yeah, an MIA thought.
Funny.
Interesting. By the way, a thought, THOUGHT.
Oh, not a thought.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Did you think he said that?
I just was making a joke, JP.
Okay, good.
But it didn't really land with the crowd.
Chris from Starrett, Alabama says, one of my favorite books as a kid was The Monster at the End of this book with Grover.
I have that book right now.
Wait, what's the name of the monster at the end of this book?
Of this book with Grover, I guess.
Do you remember that book?
No, I don't know that book.
Oh, I have the book, and it says Chris Shaver in 5-year-old handwriting.
Well, is Grover the monster at the end?
Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't read it either.
Oh my
Research
word!
that
Are we
one.
going to have story time with abs?
Yes.
I'll bring you the book that
had
we've
no
had
childhood.
forever. No, apparently not. What else we have?
Lewis from Trinity says, we were talking about the price of cars and how outrageous they are now. He said, I used to sell Toyotas. I also work in the home service industry since 2007. You could buy a Tacoma for about $16,000, and now you can't buy it for less than $46,000. The problem is the house and car industry put the cars and homes beyond most people's income. Basically, they load them up with extras. There's no simple or based level models to buy.
It's true.
Is that bad to want the fancy version?
No, it's not bad, but we were talking about inflation of cars and homes when you were on your call.
Oh, yeah.
And emergency call, I might add. And we were discussing the fact that at some point, if inflation doesn't come down in both areas, a horse looks like a very valid thing to have.
If I see y'all going down 280 in a horse and buggy,
no, I choose a scooter.
I might.
I saw
Not a
guy
bike.
on a scooter yesterday, and he beat Chris and me through the lights. And we're like,
On
"What is-
280?
On 280. I'm like, did you lose your license? You're still driving.
Bad
On a
decision.
scooter. Boo, 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 boo. Just
It's too dangerous.
Well, if you see me riding down the horse or the road on a horse, just know I'm living the dream. Let me be. I'm happy.
Amen. Amen. All right. You're listening to Right Side Radio. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison. She has a name. It's Allison. And JP. So the rest of the week is kind of crazy because we had Kathy Bradford, making her announcement for state school board. I am very excited for her. I'm just saying that in my personal accord. Then who do we have tomorrow?
Representative Matt Butler is coming on tomorrow, which I think is very well timed because all this stuff about chemtrails is coming out on the national level. And then he just recently filed a bill to ban chemtrail and cloud seeding in Alabama. And it's been an interesting ride for him since he filed that bill. And then Wednesday, we have Chairman of the Republican Party, John Wall, that is coming on. So we are getting into some good discussions with some of our leaders. And I think it's important to give them a platform. Again, we may agree, we may disagree with them, and that's okay. We have no clue what they're going to talk about. We don't give them questions before. We just have a conversation. And I think it's good for y'all to hear. You can decide what you think, what you like, what you don't, but we're just here to give them a platform to talk to the peoples.
That's right. And
we
that's
just
what
like
we
to talk
love,
to the people.
you know, because Myrna down at the office really, she wants to know who to vote for.
And Myrna.
Myrna and Myrna and them.
It's like my grandmother's name was Vanita.
Really, I love that.
Vanita? Vanita Mae Jones.
I love it. Was she Vanita Mae, M-A-Y?
No,
or M-A-E?
M-A is the correct way. Yeah.
But she just went by Nita.
Of course she did go by Nita. Well, my mama's friend went by Myrna, and I liked her name, Myrna. And they're down at the office and they want to know if you would, what you're having for Thanksgiving and everything. And if you'll get in line properly, maybe they can help you out. Check out at the DMV properly.
Hey, you're not being serious. I need you to.
No. Okay, here we go.
Hey.
We have news to
So
cover.
we do have news. Do we have the chemtrail news, or do we have the person in Belgium speaking that language? I'm kidding.
I gotta pull. We got to do chemtrails because
Okay,
I really
love
want
chemtrails.
Well, I don't. I think it's terrible, but I'm at this point in life where I'm old enough to admit that I may have been wrong and they may actually be real, and I made fun of it. But when you have, again, Lee Zeldin, the head of the EPA, saying these things are happening, you might want to listen up. Do you have that clip, JP?
Give me 1 second to pull it
Okay.
up. I'll let you know.
Do you know why I love chemtrails?
Why do you love chemtrails?
Because it's a victory for the people that we thought were crazy.
That's actually very true.
And we're thrilled for them because so often in life you say things and you think, ooh, you know, when you're at an event, they want to talk to you about something like a little odd. And you kind of, oh, hey, your imaginary friends up there and you got to go get them. These people are running a major victory lap because they finally admitted what several people have known for years to be true, which is ultimately back down to this issue. Our government is not really for us.
Because this chemtrail stuff, cloud seeding, is really diabolical. And I don't know another word to describe it, because not only does it manipulate the weather, but then they're dumping aluminum and all of these metals and all this crap into our food, our soil, our nostrils. You breathe all that in. And when you see, my understanding is that there's a chemtrail and there's a condensation trail. The condensation trail that's normal out of airplanes, you watch it kind of dissipate as it floats across the sky. And it'll be there for a minute, but then it just kind of...
Happy journey, everyone in the
a
plane.
happy trail.
Yeah.
Behind...
Is that where that came from?
A happy tree.
Now it's you.
A happy airplane goes through the sky, and then the condensation goes.
It's like a grid. It's like a geometric puzzle.
No, those are chemtrails.
I know.
They don't
That's
go
what
away.
I'm saying.
It looks
They
like you're
don't go
playing
away.
tic-tac-toe.
You're just, here you are. Oh, but what you're seeing, you're not seeing that.
That's not normal. That is not a condensation trail when it stays in the air for 16, 13, 14, 48 hours. Just not normal.
And by the way, I need to back up for just a little teeny tiny second. You know, you talked about aluminum, Allison, and all the other metals that apparently they're now admitting are actually there. Do you remember when they told us aluminum wasn't in our children's vaccines?
No
And then
mercury.
aluminum and mercury and all the things that other people who are running a victory lap because of RFK Jr. are going, see, we told you. So we're equally as concerned about vaccines, and we haven't even covered that in the first couple of weeks we've been on the air. What? Allison, did somebody just say?
No, I'm going to turn my chair around. You keep doing the story.
Well,
Actually, JP,
I got
can
the
you
Lee
play the
Zeldin
clip?
clip.
Thank you.
I got the Lee Zeldin clip to save of the day.
JP.
Putting sulfur dioxide, a lot of it, for a long time.
Let me restart it. Okay.
Here we go.
All right, now we're ready.
Atmosphere, which turns into acid rain. There are real health concerns with regards to these activities. Now, in the case of stratospheric aerosol injection, it's not like it's thoroughly studied, it's approved, it's trusted. Instead, you have people who just want to do it on their own, like try to get themselves someone to hand over $1 billion to just go dump a whole bunch of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. And no, that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound right, and it shouldn't happen.
No.
Everything that I know as the EPA administrator should be communicated transparently with the American public, whatever the answer is, wherever the facts lie. We posted last month on the EPA website, epa.gov/geoengineering, a lot of the answers I received on this topic, and there has been government funding that's gone towards some of these efforts. There are entities and people who would want to drastically scale these activities up. My goal is to fix everything out of the gate.
I don't know how you argue with that. Again, Lee Zeldin, I've never met him, but I like him, and I have no reason not to trust him, even though he's from New York and he's a Yankee. But how do you argue with that? Especially when you've taken in all these other data points, and there are states like Tennessee and Florida that have banned chemtrails. You don't just ban nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's got to be, of course, the people will say, I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mac Butler, they're all conspiracy theorists and crazy people. I don't know. They wouldn't bring it up on the floor as a bill unless there was actual evidence to back it up, because that's just a waste of time. But chemtrails, that's not even real. Done. You know, the bills. So they wouldn't even bring it up if there wasn't something to look into. So, and I'm not very, educated on the matter in terms of, I know what chemtrails are, but I'm not, extremely knowledgeable on what exactly people think they are, or what chemicals are in there, what's, causing them to stay. Because it is weird. Condensation doesn't just stay.
Right.
I'm not a scientist.
It dissipates.
Yeah, it dissipates. So I don't know. I think there's at least something there worth talking about. And it's if there is something in the sky with chemicals in it that keep it in the sky, I feel like you would be dumb to at least not look into it. So
there you go. I appreciate that. Enough evidence is mounting that this might be true. And so to ignore it or try and squash it, which will be interesting to see who comes out against this bill, if there's any pressure on Mac Butler to pull the bill. If I'm curious if anybody in the Senate's going to carry it, if they have a companion bill over there. We should ask Garland Gudger, see what's going on. But you are foolish to not do your due diligence and look into this at this point, because something's weird. I grew up in the 80s. I don't remember seeing all those tic-tac-toes in the sky. Do you, Abs?
I do not remember that at all.
No, we just had big puffy clouds. The world was better back then.
Well, do you remember, like, you had to learn what kind of clouds were clouds? The cirrus clouds, the cumulus clouds, the different cloudy clouds. I mean, just you were in second grade and you had to know the types of clouds. And now you look up in the sky and you think, am I the only one that has seen this wax stuff up there?
They didn't. I never remember
Really?
the streak cloud.
No. But I think you are right. By the way, if you want a good follow, Wide Awake Media on X is great, exposing all of the green agenda, the chemtrails. A great follow to gather more information. It's very interesting. And one of the guys was a founder of like Greenpeace or some huge organization, and has since come over and presents logical, common sense information for people to investigate for themselves. But you don't have to take our word for it. We're going to have a great interview tomorrow, but look into it. It isn't enough now to just label everything conspiracy. You have to become quite curious and decide that you want to disprove. Yeah, that's not true. Okay, then go prove that it's not true.
Yeah.
That's what we want to focus on.
We got an interesting comment here, by the way. I don't know if he means personally, but Bruce on X says, we did seed the skies back in the 80s when we were in the military in Alaska to affect the weather in the lower 48.
That's very comforting.
So, like I said, I don't know if Bruce is talking about himself personally or if he knows
Oh,
people
he
personally.
said seed. I thought you said SEE. We did
No, we did seed the skies back in the 80s when we were in the military in Alaska to affect the weather in the lower 48.
So they just throw it up there and let the winds carry it down to kill us down here.
I guess so.
Got it.
Now I'm going to have to go do a deep dive about our health.
Yeah, and our
related to
health
cloud
issues.
seeding. Huh.
And I'm interested, Mac Butler on the show tomorrow, evidence that he has that has caused
Very
him to
excited about that.
bring up the bill. So we'll see. But it is interesting, Allison, you said it's all kind of coming out like at the same time. You know, like Tucker did a podcast on it.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Beck had Lee Zeldin on, talked about it. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but it's interesting to say the least.
Maybe it's a distraction from something.
Oh, man.
It's a distraction from the Epstein files.
Yeah, kabuki theater.
Could be.
Look.
That's true. Oh, my gosh.
Well, we have to take a break. Again. Why does this always happen? Stephen from Athens. They freeze at 30. Oh, all right. Well, I'll tell you this on the other side. He has an update to condensation trails. You're listening to Right Side Radio. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside. Last segment of the day, which it went by 5 minutes. It feels like it's 5 minutes long.
It flew by.
Yeah, it did.
Like those chemtrails. Actually, no.
Wait.
That was good. Allison.
But that it doesn't even make sense because chemtrails stay around a long time.
Apparently they freeze.
Yeah, so that's what Stephen was saying. No. Yes. The condensation trails remain for a while because they freeze at 35,000 feet altitude. He's a retired senior principal engineer who worked in high tech in Huntsville. I will not argue with Stephen from Athens.
Absolutely not. He is now our official expert.
He follows up with cloud seeding is another matter altogether.
Oh,
curious what that means. Maybe Stephen will have
can
to
you fill us in.
If you're a senior high tech principal engineer in NASA, FBI, Huntsville, maybe you should call and tell us about cloud seeding. Maybe.
We're just saying.
John says his granny's name was Ryla May. Ryla May. That is really Southern.
It is.
It is Raleigh Southern.
But if it's Rilla, what if it's
it's Rilla? You think like
I don't know.
Rilla May?
It could be Rilla May.
Yeah, because it's two L's.
John,
Rilla.
tell us if it was Ryla or Rilla.
See, now I have guilt. I mispronounced
No.
his grandmother's name.
I'm probably wrong, but I am saying in the South, we will invert any name and turn it into any number of things. I like Ryla.
Ryla May.
I like Rilla.
You just
I don't care.
Add
Ryla
May to anything.
I have a sweet little May in my life.
Or Beth. No offense.
We'll
Mary
slap
Beth,
that on
Morgan
there.
Beth, Amy Beth.
My name's
Bethy
from Little
Beth.
Women.
Look,
That's really weird that you just said a nickname I had in childhood.
Bethy Beth.
Amy, like Bethy, like Amy Bethy.
Amy Bethy.
Like when I was 5. I don't know where that came from.
Well, now it's going to
Weird.
stick.
Good. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I hope not.
Adam from Athens wants us to know that there's actually nothing wrong with wanting all the bells and whistles on the cars, but not offering or pricing people correctly or out of a base model is a problem. I agree.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
agree.
That's a good take. It's
That's
a very good
It
take.
was kind of tacky of me to say that. I do. I have some dream cars. I'm not I don't really like, I shop cheap. I'm a cheap shopper, but I do like cars.
I like cars.
Yeah.
A lot.
And shoes, but that's it.
We like the same things. Okay. But cars and shoes, I think those are universal. Oh, and good food.
Oh, that's the most important.
You guys, I had some barbecue and it was up in North Alabama.
Where at?
Pork shoulder was phenomenal. It was actually at Rick's.
Oh.
It was divine. But apparently, when we go back, we're going to go to a place that's only open on Saturday. It's called Fourth Planet Barbecue. And it's in the 7 Points area. You guys, the line was so long to get this barbecue. It smelled otherworldly. See what I did there?
That's good.
I was trying to copy you two today. Anyway, if anybody knows about that, text in and tell us, because Rick's is, I love Rick's.
They need to sponsor the show.
They do need to sponsor the show. Also, Fourth Heaven or Fourth Planet, it's Fourth Planet, also needs to be a sponsor.
While you were talking, I was kind of not listening because I was reading Brad. I'm just being honest. Brad, I perked up when you said ribs or barbecue. Shoulder. Brad from Limestone County. Okay, this is his follow-up. Y'all follow me with this.
Okay.
On the book
Amusing Ourselves to Death.
Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death. Postman's beef with Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
What is wrong with me?
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street is that it's conditioning children to learn only if they can be entertained. Think about how much modern news programming is just entertainment. You get 7 seconds for a sensational story, then 5 seconds for an unrelated sensational story, and then an unrelated sensational ad, then another 10-second sensational
Sequitur.
What's a sequitur? Like it doesn't match?
Hold on. I'm going to define it incorrectly.
I went to public school in Tennessee. I don't know what a sequitur is. It's like I saw sequin.
University of Tennessee education. It's
Yeah,
not
so
very
what's
good.
So
what's
here's
a
what you
sequitur?
have is it's a conclusion that follows a premise. It's logical. So you get some that are either sequiturs that follow and you're like, oh, that makes sense, or non sequiturs, line please, that make no sense whatsoever.
Okay, so you're just there. It's like the shorts,
Yeah.
the dopamine hit
It's
things you watch.
your sound effect. Pew, 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 pew. That's today's news.
It's TikTok, it's Snapchat, there and gone, and it makes no sense. But an hour's gone by and you've watched Sesame Street and you really don't have much. And so he says the result is a people who are aware of a bunch of trivia but don't really know or even genuinely care about any of it.
Oh, that hurts.
Hey, I just learned though what a sequitur is. Reminds me of conquistador. I don't know why.
That's a great take. That's an actually outstanding take. And you're right. And now I'm going to have to go back and reorder the book.
Last text before we go to our exit question.
Well, we only got like 30 seconds left anyways. So
Rick's
last text.
Barbecue started in Leoma, Tennessee. Back in the 80s. They have multiple franchises across North Alabama and Middle Tennessee. All right, Rick's, somebody give them a call.
Please sponsor us. Your mac and cheese, my kids love it.
JP, exit question.
Oh, here's a good one. Would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
Ew, neither.
I'm vomiting.
No. Let them vomit on you, because then they'll say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Do you want to, I'll invite you to, my mansion. We'll have a day. We'll hang out just to, say I'm sorry, whatever.
He thought about this.
I was just thinking they'd like sign your vomited shirt.
Or that. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
You're right. Get something out of that vomit.
Exactly.
It's been a day, people.
And on that note,
I'm not sure they'll let us back, but we're going to try to be here tomorrow. You're listening to Rightside Radio. We'll see y'all then.